The Resident Evil 2 remake was my game of the year last year. It was cracking stuff, so naturally when I heard 3 was being remade I was excited, since I actually prefer 3 to 2 on the PS1, but sadly that hasn't been the case with the remakes. Resi 3 Remake is an okay game, but too much content has been cut from the original and it's over before you know it. The story is about the only part of the game I would argue is better. The characters are much more human, especially Carlos. Don't know why he's allowed to get away with that haircut. Jill is still good, she cares about other people and gives some good funny sass with Carlos. The acting is obviously miles ahead of the PS1, and even though the story is simple, it's perfect for this type of game. Alarm bells started ringing immediately though. Within the first 2 minutes you have a scripted chase with Nemesis, and that sets the tone for a lot of the Nemesis encounters unfortunately. As I recall, there are about 2 small sections where he patrols and comes after you, and all it took was a single grenade for me to bring him down. Worth doing since I got upgrade parts for the guns much like the original, but here's the kicker viewer, it can be hard to know if you can actually take Nemesis down in some encounters because it could be scripted. Like the bit where he gets his rocket launcher out, I was mugging him off, dodging all his rockets, but no matter what I chucked at him he wouldn't go down. There's also content that has been cut. The clock tower is just an arena for a Nemesis fight now. No branching paths, no gravedigger, no giant spiders, and the biggest sin of all, no Barry Burton at the end. A remake should add stuff like the FF7 one, not cut stuff out. The gameplay is still fine like it was in Resi 2. The damage on zombies is still inconsistent, sometimes they go down in a couple of headshots, other times you drain all your ammo on the twats. There's a new type that spawns tentacles out the face that can reach you from miles away and they can piss off. There's mechanics that fly by as well, like the parasite condition, which is cured with a single green herb. I got it once in a cutscene. Jill doesn't even look concerned when she's about to get a monster's cock down her throat, like pfft, I've had bigger than that, bring it on. There's also mine ammo for the grenade launcher, which is only around for one boss fight and then it disappears. Basically the game is very fast paced, probably too fast for its own good. Areas are visited and then gone in minutes. You still get the feeling of tension like in the previous entries. What's going to be behind this door? Do I have the supplies to survive, etc.? But it's just nowhere near as good in this. Jill's sections are more survival horror and Carlos' sections are much more action, which is fine, it adds some variety to the gameplay, but both characters' sections should have been extended. There's the new dodge move, which was in the PS1 original, which works okay. If Jill times it right, she gets some slow motion to do a high damage shot, whereas Carlos channels Chris Redfield and twats the monster. It can feel unresponsive at times, but once you master it, you can really mug the zombies off. It's a hard game to get immersed in though. Just as you start to get absorbed by its atmosphere, you get control wrestled off you for a scripted section or a cutscene. And back to Nemesis, in the original he would be most of the time on your ass and it was frightening, wondering when he would next appear. But here, when he does turn up and the game takes control off you, you know you're going to be okay. There's a few cutscenes where Jill is actually fighting Nemesis and I was like, wow, would be nice to actually play this bit. I also felt there were too many tight corridors with loads of enemies in, leaving you no choice but to gun your way through. Yeah, you can dodge one, but then you move right into another one and get eaten. Also in other Resi games, you could lure enemies into wider areas and then go around them, but in this, the AI turns back on you after you take them a certain distance. Biggest example of this is where you play as Carlos and have to fight 2 hunters in close quarters which can kill you in one hit, and the camera keeps getting stuck on the furniture and they can just suck my poo. The level design also isn't that great. Exploring isn't really thrilling because they are so small and every key item is so obviously placed you don't really need to do it. It feels like you're being herded through it. The boss fights are also crap. You only fight Nemesis by the way, and I had more trouble with the game's standard enemies than any of the boss fights. That one where Nemesis has a flamethrower is embarrassing. The inventory system pissed me off in this one and I don't remember it doing that in Resi 2. A lot of times I would see green herbs and not have enough room for them, fair enough, but the game doesn't let you immediately use it without putting it in your inventory, which for a faster paced game like Resident Evil 3 would have suited it. I had to backtrack to store stuff to make room for key items as well, which isn't that bad, but it feels like padding in what is a criminally short game anyway. It took me 3 hours 52 minutes by the way. So yes, for 60 quid you shouldn't buy it. There's free trials and demos of games that last longer than that. It looks gorgeous, but so does every game now. Oh yeah, I played one game of Resistance, and I think I would prefer to walk in on someone else shagging my missus, so don't bother with that.
Oh, Blakey.